Hey everybody, and welcome to another Interstellar Modeler. In this video, we're going to go ahead and build the Star Wars Snowspeeder from Bandai. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside the box here. We've got our usual instructions by Bandai. They're nicely illustrated as always. And on the back side includes a picture of a completed model kit along with the suggested colors to use. And pieces come in these packages here. Let me go ahead and open it up for you. Alright, this first tree has the main body, and in usual fashion the Bandai kits come with real nice details, and this is no exception. You've got some nice scribed lines here on the surface, which should look pretty good with a wash. And then we have this second tree here, which has some darker gray parts, which belong to the aft part of the ship. And we've got the cockpit and the seats and so forth. And we have some nicely detailed canopies here. Alright, these two other trees here come with these gray parts here. You've got some pieces that go to the back side of the ship there, have some really good detailing. You've got the cover to the canopy and cockpit. And then we also have the stand on this tree, along with the pilots, which are excellently detailed, and some other remaining parts there. So this is a 1/48 scale model kit. Also, as with the other Bandai kits, it comes with these colored clear pieces here, which are supposed to represent laser blasts. I've never really used them, but they come with the kit. And then we have our decal sheet, which I'm not going to use a lot of these here, but we'll be using some of the smaller ones. Alright, so it's time to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and begin with the pilots first. I like painting those guys to start with, and then we'll go ahead and move on to priming the rest of the ship. Still waiting for the winterizing kit that I am expecting from Precision Ice from the UK. So as soon as that comes in, I will show you what that looks like. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, before moving on, I just wanted to show you one thing that I have been using lately, and that's this stuff here by Testors. It's a flat clear coat, and I'm sure there's other brands out there, of course, that you can put into your airbrush. I used to just paint the figures, and after applying so much paint, they'd look a bit shiny, so I'd, of course, try to dull that down, and I would never quite get to the finish I wanted with a spray can. So this, so much better. You can get some nice fine mist of the coating on there and just keep applying until you get to the finish that you're looking for. Alright, I hope you can see in this lighting, what I'm trying to do is actually keep from getting too much overhead lighting here, and that way you can see this a little bit better. But as you can hopefully see, the detailing here along the figure to your right is a lot more evident. You can see a lot more folds in his uniform, simply because we've highlighted them with the lighter colors, versus this figure here looks just fairly flat. Also, the darker tones accentuate the shadows underneath him. We applied darker tones along the gloves and the boots, versus this figure here on to the left doesn't have any of those sorts of things. So again, it just adds further mention, as I've noted in the past, to your figures by painting them this way, and that way when the model is being viewed, you know, you can see a lot more detailing here with figures that have been painted in this manner. Alright, so you can see I have the pieces primed here. I use Stynylrez Res primer from Badger. This is my favorite primer. And what I'm going to do now is proceed with some of the weathering. I often do some of this further down the line, but just by the way this model has to piece together, I'm going to go ahead and apply some of this now. So I did a search online under Snowspeeder model kit and came up with a lot of different images. This is one model I particularly like, so I'm going to use it as a guide. You can see it's modelmaking.guru. He did an excellent job with his, and you can see the weathering that he applied here was this chipped, stippled appearance, and I think the best way to achieve that would be with the salt technique. We have a few different methods available, including masking fluid or chipping fluid like this, but I think in order to get this appearance, our best shot would be the salt technique. So I know you've seen me do it before. I'm not going to go too much into it. I'll just summarize it quickly again. It's basically a technique where we use hairspray. We apply it to the areas that we are going to be doing the chipping. We sprinkle salt in those areas. and then after it's dried, we dissolve the salt with water. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward and show you when it's completed. Okay, and you can see we're off to a decent start here. Alright, so what I've moved on now to are the components of the cockpit. These will be inserted as we assemble the first pieces here of the model. Now, the sad part is you're not going to really see a whole lot of this because I think I'm going to be building this with the closed canopy or the ship in flight. So, but I still like applying these details anyway. And just to show you again, really dry brushing is really what is doing the trick here. So we want to make these panels look aged, and essentially it's very simple to do. You just dip your brush. I'm just using some metallizer paint here. I dip the brush in and I dry it off on a towel, so I hardly have any paint. And then you just brush it onto the surface that you're trying to age. And really what you want is just a very light sort of pattern brushed onto the surface, and that way it looks all scratched up and worn. So particularly you want to apply this to the edges here because that's what's going to catch the light, and as you can see it's very effective at creating that illusion there. And these are the side panels here. The other thing it's helpful in doing is bringing out the details. Again, these Bandai kits come with really nice details on the pieces here, and you can see that's pretty evident here. And then this is the back panel. Again, just applying the same technique, and you can see how it just brings out all the detailing, highlighting the buttons and instrumentation that you see on the panels there. Alright, well I did decide to apply one of the decals here that comes with the model kit, and those are the ones here for the sides of the cockpit area. And if you're going to be applying decals to such a contoured surface, you are going to need a setting solution. One choice is this one here, Microset and Microsol. Oftentimes you have to use these in combination. Good choice here, I've used it many times. One solution that's been recommended to me, however, is this Solvaset solution. It comes with a brush applicator, and all you have to do is just apply the solution to the decal, and it softens them up so that it will conform to the contour that lies underneath it. Alright, well with regard to lighting, I decided to go ahead and install one lighting that's going to shine down onto the cockpit. I know that's not canon, if you will, but really it's more for the observer to be able to see the detailing inside the cockpit. So it's not really to add accuracy to the model, but just be able to see some of this detail, which would be a shame if you couldn't see any of it. Alright, well I'm getting ready to wrap up this video, but before I do so, I thought I would just show you how I have the pieces masked off here for the orange stripes. You see the purple splotches all over the place. I decided to make it easy on myself this time around and just use liquid masking fluid. So these are the stripes we're talking about here. I'm going to go ahead and take Tester's orange and lighten it up with some white, and then I will apply the paint and show you when it's completed. Alright, so you can see how effective and easy that was with using the masking fluid. Once you're done, you just rub it off and you're good to go. Now notice it's not as fine of a chipped effect as you can get with the salt technique. I figured with the stripes this would be sufficient for our needs here. So that's all set to go, and the other thing I wanted to show you was the lighting that I added to the cockpit roof. This is an SMD nano-size light from modeltrainsoftware.com. Again, the aim here is to be able to illuminate the cockpit, so when you look in you'll be able to see some of the detailing inside. Alright guys, well I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video here, but before I go I wanted to show you a couple things I have in store for the next video. I know a lot of the stuff I did in this particular video I've done before, but this kit here is called a sci-fi weathering set we're going to use on our Snowspeeder here. And I've used MIG solutions before, but the colors that come here are suitable for sci-fi ships apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And we've got this stuff here, which is from Precision Ice and Snow. They're a company out of the UK. And as I mentioned in my airbrush video that precedes this one, this stuff is used to create an Arctic effect and provide you a really cool ice effect with your dioramas. So I saw a person do this with their X-Wing fighter. It turned out beautifully, so hopefully ours will turn out good here as well. But we've got two things going on here. We've got this ice and snow wash, which we'll use on the model itself. And then for the base, we're going to use this stuff here, which will provide us this snow effect. Alright, well, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me here on my YouTube channel or at interstellarmodeler@gmail.com. As usual, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.